Infrared photography is unique because it gives you an ethereal look. The white foliage with a 720nm filter looks out of this world. I was interested in infrared photography and I came across this Panasonic GX7 that has been modified to a full spectrum camera. Since I've already invested in the Micro Four Thirds system, I picked it up for one kidney. After that I needed some filters and they cost me an eyeball. In this video I'm going to show you my infrared images from the GX7 and I'm also going to review the Panasonic GX7 camera. The Panasonic GX7 is a really good mirrorless camera that has a 16 megapixel Micro Four Thirds sensor, and you can see that unlike unconverted cameras, the sensor looks grey. This is because the color filter that is in front of the sensor has been removed, allowing you to record a much broader light spectrum. The GX7 is a solid camera. Design-wise, it's a handsome camera with a comfy grip. All the dials and the buttons on this Micro Four Thirds camera are really clicky and tactile. It has a tilting display that allows the camera to be used like a waist level viewfinder. The GX7 has IBIS, which has been really helpful. It works really well and I can use slow shutter speeds to get a better exposure. The amount of light that gets through a 720nm filter is low, so when shooting deep infrared images, you'll find that the exposure is much longer than a traditional camera. With infrared photography, white balance options are really important. In addition to the presets, the GX7 has two custom white balance options. I find myself mostly using the red filter and the 720nm filter, so the two presets have been sufficient. The GX7 also does 1080p video. This means I can record cool video using this camera in infrared. Let's talk about the image quality. The image quality is absolutely on point. The raw files from this camera are some of the best that I've come across. They're better than the RAWs I get out of the Panasonic G9, and the ISO invariance is really good. I'm happy with a little bit of noise in my images, but when swapping color channels in RAW therapy, I've found that color noise is higher compared to a normal camera. Now regardless, I try to keep my ISO low, but this isn't really an issue. A little chroma noise reduction removes all the color noise and it looks really nice. For infrared, lenses are very important. Micro Four Thirds lenses have worked great with infrared. I've used the Panasonic 12 to 42mm kit lens, which is now stuck on this camera most of the time. The 14 to 42mm is really good. There is no hotspot and you get good color from it. It's really sharp in the center, but it is however a little soft in the corners. The Panasonic 12 to 32mm pancake zoom lens is also really good. Just like the 14 to 42mm, it is really sharp in the center and a little soft in the corners. It does give me a wider field of view. I've also been using the 20mm f1.7 prime lens. The autofocus is slow and is a noisy lens, but the image quality is absolutely amazing. It's super duper sharp across the whole frame, and a f1.7 it gives a shallow depth of field which works really well with infrared. I have also used the 14 to 140mm super zoom lens. It's a really good lens in terms of sharpness, but it does block out some wavelengths, making the image look closer to black and white compared to the other zoom lenses mentioned in this video. Although the lens is usable, the colors don't look as good and you'll find that it is harder to separate the RGB channels. Now I'm going to show you my images that I've taken with this camera. This is an image shot with a 720nm filter on the 14 to 140mm super zoom lens. You will need to do color swapping to get images to look different, and I've decided to go for an orange foreground and with a blue sky. This is an image shot at 140mm with the orange filter, which gives you the most vibrant colors while providing a good separation between the color channels. This image was also shot on the super zoom lens, and I've gone for a black and white image, and you can see the foliage and the grass looks really white, and it creates an intense contrast against the shadows. This is a image shot with a 720nm filter, and I've gone with a pink foreground. with a blue sky, and it looks really nice. This image was shot with the 720nm filter again. This is an image shot with the 20mm f1.7 with the 720nm filter. This is another image shot with the 720nm filter, and it's no secret that you can get color out of this filter. You can see the yellow foliage and the blueness of the sunlight. Now here are two images side by side. They're shot on the same camera. I did forget to mention that I also did buy a UV IR cut filter, which turns the full spectrum camera back into a normal camera. And you can see how it compares to a 720nm filter in black and white. You can see the white foliage. Here's another shot with the IR UV cut filter, and as you can see, you can take normal looking images. I also took images with the camera without any filters, and if you shoot full spectrum photography, it is very nice. The color separation is quite something. There's 3 layers of colors that you can get out of the images. In this image you can see the pink, you can see the green foliage which looks normal, and you can also see some orange foliage. This is an image shot with the 20mm f1.7 close up with no filters. This is also shot with the 20mm f1.7, and this is without using any filters. And as you can see, I have purple in the image, I have pink in the image, and I also have some white foliage down at the bottom right corner. This is an image shot with the 14 to 140mm zoom lens. I can't quite remember, I believe this might be the 720nm filter, allowing me to get 2 very distinct colors. As you can see, you have the blue surrounding from the sunlight, and I did choose the subject and make it orange, or make him orange, sorry. This is one of my favorite images I've shot with the GX7. I can't remember which filter I was using, but it came out very nice. Now instead of going black and white, this is with the 720nm filter. I've decided to just emphasize on one color, and it looks really nice. In my opinion, my favorite and my best images have been with the 720nm filter in black and white. You can add a lot of contrast into the images, and it pulls out so much texture. And the images look really nice with the white foliage, and it's been amazing to just get these images. They are really nice, they look really ethereal. Some of them backlit as well under the trees. These images were shot with a 14 to 42mm kit lens. Now let's talk about what I like about this. I really love the build quality from the Panasonic GX7. It's a really well built camera. It also has a really nice grip, and it's very easy to handhold, and it's very comfortable. The tilting display is very nice. I'm able to get low and get some really cool shots with this. Although I didn't talk much about the viewfinder is very nice. I also like the dials and the buttons on this camera. They are very nice and tactile. The 16 megapixel micro four thirds sensor from this camera is also very nice, and I do like the images. And I also love the raw files that come out of this camera. They are really nice. There is only one thing that I don't like about infrared photography, and that is that it is really expensive. Now, to be fair, I did buy a lot of filters, and they are very expensive. So I'm gonna make a recommendation. Go ahead and buy the 720nm filter. That's a pretty standard wavelength, and it gives you a white foliage and a really dark sky. But I do recommend the red filter, which is approximately 590nm. With the red filter, you can get almost every look. You can even get the 720nm look with the red filter if you make it black and white and then add the colors on later on. You will lose the color that you would get from a 720nm filter, but it will be a lot cheaper, and you're not going to be missing out on a lot. So to conclude, infrared photography is a lot of fun. I recommend anybody who's into photography to get an infrared camera to see what the world looks like through a different wavelength. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys shoot infrared photography or if you're interested. If you guys have any questions, just ask me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in another video.